Alright guys, hope you're doing well. So in this video we're going to go over left-wing news agencies are actually removing themselves from Twitter. Don Lemon has removed himself from Twitter. Praise the Lord. Pedophilia. People are saying that pedophilia is a sexual orientation and must be accepted by society. Sickos. We're going to look at, whether I actually think having a degree is an intelligent thing to do, and I actually have a degree, so we're going to go into that. We're going to have a look at why people are annoyed, or that Kamala's not sad. We'll talk about that. Why is she not sad? I'll tell you why she's not sad. We're going to talk about Elon Musk, and the hammer of justice is coming. It's going to be a pretty intense 4 years for a lot of the people working for government. We're going to look at Vivek Ramaswamy and his take on the government efficiency program. We're just going to look at some hypocrisy from the left, as per usual, wanting a recount. We're going to look at this new movement. I don't think it's a very big movement, to be fair, but it's doing a lot of men some big favours. And finally, I am hoping, praying that Farage is going to help the UK in 4 years' time. I think it's a possibility, and one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos daily is if I can just convert one person, maybe I've done my bit. All right, so let's get into it. So first on the list, The Guardian, major news organisation, very, very left wing, removing themselves from X, saying that it's toxic, etc. At the end of the day, if you're a news platform, you surely want to be on the #1 news platform in the world, which at the moment is X. So, removing themselves because apparently they're toxic. In my opinion, I think the real reason why they're moving, or they're not posted on X, the #1 news platform in a lot of countries, is because they're sick of getting community noted. The same with Don Lemon. I mean, he really does embody his second name. He's a complete and utter lemon. His interview that he did with Elon Musk, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's offensive. It's offensive. He was asking him questions about medication that he was on, asking him stupid questions like, CNN, asking Musk why he thinks CNN's a left-wing news organisation. It's just embarrassing, and I think anyone that really likes listening to Don Lemon, is a lemon themselves, because he's just the most cringe-worthy, annoying, rude, individual journalist, so-called journalist, that I've ever come across, to be honest. He just epitomizes really everything that people have fought against at the moment. I'm not even going to play the video, to be honest, because but I think he's the same. I think a lot of these left-wing news companies, the part of me thought, is it going to be a bad thing that these big major news organisations are leaving X? And I think long term, never bet against Elon. I think that they are gonna just go downhill from now on. The Guardian, Don Lemon, etc. Because I think more and more people are moving to X. I think hopefully, if they get he was talking about wanting Mr. Beast to be on X, or I think to just solely post his videos on X. So Elon Musk is very serious about turning X into a video platform as well. So I mean, because YouTube's just is terrible. Our channel's been absolutely nailed on YouTube. So I'm just having to think about now how to best move over to X, but that's definitely something that we're going to be doing soon. So let's have a quick listen to this.
Pedophiles. Just like pedophiles, we are not responsible for our feelings. We do not choose them, but we are responsible for our actions, and we must make a decision. It is an our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles we treat other people with. We should accept that pedophiles are people who have not chosen their sexuality.
It's sick. I think this is what the devil kind of does. Evil people have got bad energy. They've got the devil inside of them. Will try to convince people that this stuff's okay, and they'll use a lot of word salad like this woman's doing, to justify things like pedophilia. And the only solution to that is just to not even argue with them, in my opinion, just to say you're talking shit, and just completely dismiss whatever they're saying completely. Just don't even try and argue back with some rational logic, because these people, you can't rationalize with them. They're sick in the head, and anyone that's sort of trying to convince people that paedophilia is okay and we've got to be somehow empathetic towards them, in my opinion, have got the devil in them. They've got really sick energy. And it's very, in some instances, you've just got to literally dismiss point blank whatever they're saying. Um, it's a little bit like saying Jesus Christ to them. It makes them feel all uncomfortable, because they're expecting you to come back at them with some sort of debate, some sort of argument, and they know they've got you there. They know they've messed with your energy because you're trying to come back with them with this logical response. But if you just completely dismiss them, it just literally cups that energy, I found, and they literally hate that. So if anyone's saying anything like that, you've just got to, don't even listen to what they're saying. Just completely tell them they're an absolute nonce. Um, so I don't know whether this is true or not, but it's talking about people who have got degrees in voting. And I'm coming to the conclusion that I think people who have got degrees, and I've got a degree as well, I've got a degree in landscape architecture. I don't know whether, I think it's pretty dumb to get a degree, and I'll tell you the reasons why. The one of the main reasons is that you're in debt, usually for life, paying off a loan where the interest rate in England anyway is so high that you're often just paying off the interest. So that's a dumb move. The second thing, and I suppose you don't realise this until you've actually gone to university, is how easy it is. It's not even hard. For the first year, you don't really do anything because they're trying to just settle you down into university. So for the first year, you're just going out drinking, you're at Freshers Week, most of the time you're just tossing it off. And then year two and year three, you do a little bit more work, but it's very, I mean, like I said, I studied landscape architecture, and half the time they was teaching you stuff that, you think, well, do I really need to know this? They was teaching us how to learn the Latin names of plants, and I was thinking, well, surely, practically, to be a landscape architect, yeah, it's pretty important to know the Latin names of plants, but surely it's more important to understand how to create structures and architecture in landscapes. Surely that's more important. Um, and then you've got to write a dissertation, and it's just, you know, I think you've got to be. I think you've got to be even more done, and it's something that I didn't do, to take a master's and to then take a PhD. I think PhD is a really dumb move, personally, because what you're doing is you're accepting indoctrination. You can't think for yourself when you got a PhD, really, because they're telling you what you need to think and how you need to present yourself in order to get a PhD. So if you've got a PhD in medicine, for example, we know part of this YouTube channel is to expose, the mainstream pharmaceutical industries, and to promote natural healing, and to promote, and to sort of tell people to reduce the drugs that they intake. That's not medical advice, by the way, before we get shut down again. That's just my opinion. But doing a PhD in something like medicine, they're not getting taught about natural healing. So you're basically paying to get indoctrinated because you can't get your PhD without, if you start saying or you start going outside of the boxes, then you're not going to get your PhD. So, I knew that I was and I was studying landscape architecture, which is not even something like medicine or whatever. It's not massively indoctrinated, but I knew that if I was to do a master's or a PhD, I would become indoctrinated into their way of thinking. I did become indoctrinated a little bit because I realised there was a certain way that they wanted us to present architecture, and I noticed the styles of architecture that people were presenting. People will get higher marks for certain styles. And it's like, why are people getting higher marks for certain styles of architecture when architecture is more about preference? So I had to stop designing my designs in a certain specific, cookie cutter way in order to get the marks that I needed to pass. So they're indoctrinating you. It's ridiculous. So I actually think that people who get a degree these days are pretty dumb. And if you look at the statistics, how many people actually do something with the degree that they've actually studied in, I think it's hardly nothing. It's, how many. Less than half of uni graduates are working in a career. So in fact, the mainstream media. It's probably not a good idea really to search Google. But yeah, it's less than 50%. I think it's even less than that. I think it's like 20-30%, to be honest. And a lot of the people that didn't have degrees are actually doing better than most of the people that I know that have got degrees financially. Um, but yeah, we've got a little thing here. Beckett has been angry lately that Kamala is not sad. I think the reason why she's not showing any sadness is because I don't think she really cared, personally. I think she was a puppet. I do genuinely believe she was a puppet, and I spoke about this on the previous two videos, 3 videos. One of them's got banned. Um, I don't think she wanted it. You could tell. You could just tell with her energy. She didn't want, leaving on the election night, talking about being tired. I don't think she got the grit. I do not think she got the grit for it. So I think she's happy about it, to be honest. And I think Biden is too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Biden actually voted MAGA. If it, what's the video? What's the I mean, this is just it.
Let's get ready to crumble!
Hold on, let's watch this video. This is another thing about YouTube is the ads. The ads, you literally want to watch a 10-minute video and you're watching about 5 minutes worth of ads just to get through it. People are pissed off by it. People are pissed off by it. I know.
I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it.
You gonna autograph it?
Oh, sure, I'll autograph it. There you go, man. I need that hat.
You want my autograph?
Hell no.
You know my name. Come on.
I ain't going that far.
Yeah. You would do a selfie. There you go. Hey, I'm proud of you now.
That's brilliant. Imagine that, man. Imagine being Kamala, like taking over. He's just been literally thrown onto the street, and I just don't think he gives a shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and he's doing that, like, I don't know how long before the actual vote. A month and a half or something. He's wearing. It's 2 months ago. He's wearing the Trump hat, man. Like, that is funny. But yeah, they don't care. I don't think they care. So yeah, the hammer of justice is coming. We've got some amazing people. This guy here, man, he's savage. Matt, I don't know how you pronounce this. Matt Gatz. We've got Elon and Vivek. Shrinking the government. I'm not sure who this guy is too much. Tom Homan, I've looked at him. He's a savage. And I just don't. I mean, how can you complain about the government being shrunk? Who complains about that? What type of individual complains about that? Unless you're into socialism. But I never understand. I never understand the thought process behind why you would want the government. The only thought process I can think of why you would want the government looking after you is because you're lazy and you can't be arsed. You just can't be arsed, and you just want government handouts. That's the only reason why. You got no purpose in life, you got no dreams, and you just want. But if you look around the world, I mean, North Korea, South Korea, free market capitalism. I'm not saying it's perfect, but is the best. And I don't think we truly get it. And I think this is what these guys are trying to do. The whole idea of free market capitalism is you've got to shrink the government. You got to allow companies to grow. You got to allow companies space to breathe. In England, we're the same regulations all the time. I've just done one now. This pensions regulator. You must complete your declaration by 31st of August. For what? To tell them I haven't got a pension or something like that. It's just crap going through the post every single day about stuff that you just don't need to do. But you've got to do it for the law. And I've just gone through it now. I didn't even read the questions. Just went through them, and it's ridiculous. So yeah, the government of Department of Government Efficiency at DOGE. How have they got that handle? Anyway, um, yeah, go and check it out. I think it's x.com/Doge. And Elon Musk has said that they're going to have I got it on here somewhere? They're going to have leaderboards of government nonsense, which is going to be brilliant. I honestly think that the Europe, especially the UK, people are going to start looking at what's happening and they're going to get pissed off because they're going to want the same thing. They're going to want the same thing. We might have to scroll through. We might have to scroll through here quite a bit because he does seem to post quite a lot of stuff. But I do want to read what he actually said. Just give me a second. Jesus, he's smashing. I think Matt actually posted it. That's annoying. But basically, what he said is that he's going to have a leaderboard of the most stupid crap the government spend money on. Full transparency about how they're shrinking the government, and people are going to be able to see what people's money's being spent on. It's only actually been really in the past few months, especially since Elon's come out with it, because they make out as if inflation's this really complex thing, and I've tried to wrap my head around it before, and you can't really wrap your head around it fully. And he came out and just basically said, in really simple terms, all government spending, including inflation, is tax. You can't get any simpler than that. And he's right. And essentially, that means in order to get taxed less, you have to shrink the government and stop overspending of our hard-earned money. We're grafting every day. In the UK, it's literally like 50% tax. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm a small business. I take risks. I didn't have anyone to give me money to start the company. The government don't give a crap. All they're interested in is getting money off me. 50%, and then I'm paying VAT on top of that to people. the supplements we have to. I've said it before in the video. The amount that we have to charge for supplements, the Endomet supplements in the UK is ridiculous because of VAT and other stuff that I've got to pay for, and it's just unsustainable. It's unsustainable. And I think my gut feeling is that we are going to look at what's happening over in America, get started, and when things start shrinking, and people are going to get annoyed, really annoyed. I mean, you the anyway, I'll probably scroll past it. I showed you the document yesterday that of what's going off in the UK. Oh, here it is. I posted it on Facebook. All government efficiency will be posted. All actions of the Department of Government Efficiency will be posted online for maximum transparency. Anytime the public thinks we are cutting something important or not cutting something wasteful, just let us know. We will also have a leaderboard for the most insanely dumb spending of your tax dollars. This will be both extremely tragic and extremely entertaining. But yeah, I mean, if we go to scandalous spending tracker Britain, you can see it black and white, just the amount of crap that we spent it on. And this is like, I don't think it's properly published like they want to do, or like Elon wants to do, because they're getting all of this information from mainstream media. So there's no, as far as I'm aware, you can't see very easily anyway what all the stuff that gets spent. The Rwanda plan legal fees too. Let's look at the big ones. VIP helicopter rides, 40 million. Money to replace striking junior doctors equals full pay restoration for junior doctors, 1 billion. Cost incurred from lack of investment in systems and infrastructure, 20 billion. Cost of the asylum backlog, keeping people fleeing from danger in unsuitable accommodation rather than allowing them to rebuild their lives, work and pay tax, 5.3 billion. If you think you've got a bad immigration situation over there in America, ours is just as bad, if not worse, because we're a smaller country. Anyway, let's listen to Vivek. Vivek's working with Elon. Excuse me for the coughing, I've had an ear infection, it's sort of spread.
All along, which was that this virus. So now we know what we should have known all along, which was that this virus, COVID, began in a lab. It is a shame that it took us to get as long as it did to get to this answer clearly. You want to know why? They used the threat of racism to suppress any iota of debate. 2 years ago, people ought to remember this right now. If we don't learn from our history, we will never get better. Big tech companies censored, mark my words, censored someone from being able to say online that this virus originated in a lab. Okay, this was in the name of preventing the spread of misinformation. What did we do? We actually created the spread of more misinformation. We have to learn from our history or else we're going to keep.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've been thinking about recently is, if anyone does anything wrong over here, the public, very quick to prosecute you. But you don't really see many prosecutions of people who should be prosecuted. Like, do they have the balls to do it? What I'm trying to say. When Donald Trump, 8 years ago was saying that he was going to put Clinton in prison, I think they should be in prison. Why weren't they in prison? They haven't got the balls to do it. I don't think he had the balls in that year, 8 years ago to do it. Does he have the balls to do it this year? Will Fauci get charged with something? The lies that he come out with. The gain of function research funding. Like gain of function basically means how can I make a virus more deadly? Why are we funding that? Why is that something that we need to do? Why do we need to make viruses more deadly? It's just insane, man. It's insane what's going on. So, the hypocrisy continues. All the left and all the Democrats are going on about now is the recount. They want a recount. It's just so hypocritical. It's like for the past 4 years, all they've been going on about is election integrity. The elections are super, super tight. And now, you know what I mean? They're so hypocritical. It's so bad. The hypocrisy of how they're going off. How they just can't look at themselves in the mirror, but they don't care. They don't care. They know that they're spreading lies. They know that they're saying lies, and it is good versus evil. I think in the world as a whole. I'm not saying every Democrat's evil. I'm not saying every Republican's good, but the general vibe, the general energy of the whole world is sort of a good versus evil thing. And if you think you don't have anything to say or anything to do, if you think you're quite insignificant, just think of the election. Some of the elections, um, you know, were 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 razor thin. I think maybe in 2020 it was even tighter by like 20,000 people, something like that. And you think to yourself, well, let's just, I don't know exactly what the numbers were this year, but let's just say, for example, Pennsylvania, the Republicans won by 20,000. Let's just say good versus evil in the universe. Good have managed to win by 20,000 votes. If you think about it like that, and you think, well, how significant are you in that? So you think about like Charlie Kirk, if he wouldn't have gone out onto university fields, how many people did he get on board? 500,000? So if Charlie Kirk wouldn't have done his thing, good would have lost. There was a guy in the Amish community who I think he managed to get 120,000 Amish people to vote. I think, they pretty much all voted Republican, if not 100% Republican. If he wouldn't have done that, they'd have lost. So whenever you think you're insignificant, you shouldn't really think like that, because imagine if, you had 20,000 votes, okay, and everyone voted. Everyone's voted, and you've converted 20,000 people or whoever because you've got a YouTube channel, or you've just spoke to people, and that information has a ripple effect. Do you know what I mean? On other people, you might convince one person, and they might do a speech to a group of people, 20,000 people. So if you had 20,000 votes and you needed to put your votes into the pot, all of a sudden you become the most important person in the world, because it's you and you alone that can beat good, beat evil. So whenever you think you're insignificant, I've been feeling a little bit deflated recently. Um, just because what's happened. We've had that many strikes on YouTube that our channel is just kind of dead in the water, and that kind of deflated me a little bit. But I thought to myself about that, what I've just told you, and it sort of made me think, well, actually, um, you are important, even if you can just convert one person. That one person that you converted could be the difference between winning good and not, winning evil and not. So never think that you're unworthy or that you've got nothing to sort of provide. All right, so this is a funny movement.
I just very quickly came on here to say that I'm so excited for and I fully support this movement of making mainly men's lives, but really anyone who voted for Trump's lives miserable. I'm really enjoying all this content about tormenting them, so keep it up. I just very quickly came on here to say that I'm so excited for and
Pretty sick thinking. And, this is the people that you're up against. The Democrats try and come across as this sort of, or the left the left come across as the people of goodness, integrity, but when anything like this happens, their true colours show. But there is a movement where they want to sort of punish men by not having sex with them, and I think, man, you are literally doing keep it up, because you're doing all of the men a massive favour by not getting into any sort of relationship with you on one level, on any level whatsoever. So to all of the people on this I think it's called 4B movement, keep it up. You are doing the world a service massively. Type in 4B movement and you will see some nonsense. Look at this. Fuck men, fuck this shit, fuck Donald Trump. Ladies join the revolution. 225 followers. Oh man. 15 followers. Yeah, it's a big movement. Jesus. Oh man. Yes, literally what I've just said. I will stop sleeping around. This will show him. This'll get him. We accept your terms. Brilliant. Oh man, it's hilarious.
Patriarchy. I just want to make it clear that I have cancer. I'm not stupid.
I don't know. That was a bit dark. We'll move on. Dang. Anyway, yeah, they're doing everyone a favour. 4B movement, so keep it up. And finally, I think Nigel's a few steps ahead. I think he knew that he could see what was going to happen. He could see Donald Trump was going to win. He could see the government, the massive changes coming. He can see that the English people feel the same. And he's our only saviour as far as I'm concerned, I think. And I think if all goes well in America, which I'm pretty sure it will, Elon always pulls it out of the bag. We're going to see um, a really interesting general election in 4 years' time. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. All right, so if you have any questions, anything like that, drop them in the comments. I do have a professional mic coming soon, so the microphone situation is going to get better because it's not been great. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you.